There are 7 things I've learned from pathological, grandiose narcissists. And it can be really helpful for all you empaths, codependent people, people pleasers, or you with low self-esteem. Yes, in an ideal world, we wouldn't really have pathological narcissists. Second best, we could go no contact. That's what all the experts suggest. But it's not possible for all of us. Some of us have joint custody, they can be family members, they can be work colleagues, our bosses, and we don't really have that option. And instead of only focusing on the really hard, abusive, traumatic behaviors and traits that they have, we can actually learn some things from them as well and adopt some of those qualities to sort of balance out where we lack. Okay, the first quality, the ego sniffer as I call it, you might not like because it's painful. But if you're on the path to self-discovery, to self-knowledge, it can be really useful because the pathological narcissist is extremely good at sniffing out all your weaknesses, all your ego filters, your triggers, your buttons, or your shadow side, and they will present it to you so you can look at it and work on it. 2, their confidence. The thing is that they walk into a room owning the space without having to really prove themselves in any way. They don't need to be a good person, to be perfect, to do things by the book in order to sort of demand that people will either admire them or envy them or fear them. So we can learn from that. We don't have to be a perfect person and to please everyone in order to feel validated that we can take up space. No. 3, ambition. Most grandiose narcissists are really ambitious and they're really good at business, very successful. You will find them often in leading positions in big corporations, in politics, and the arts, as singers, actors, because they dream big, they expect great things, and that helps them to manifest these because they don't see the hurdles, the problems the same way as most other people do. For them, it's just obvious that the whole world is just going to just sort of worship them and give them what they want. So we can learn a bit from that. 4, they're really resilient. When bad things happen, either that they've created it themselves or external circumstances happen, they're pretty good at brushing it off. And say for instance in a relationship, if they cheat and lie and get caught red-handed, they'll brush it off and continue. In a business, they could go bankrupt or do sort of illegal things, they'll brush it off and continue. They don't take it so hard. Whereas a lot of empaths, codependent people will just beat themselves up for hardly anything at all. Any little thing that you feel that you could have done better, you beat yourself up, feel bad about it. No, just don't be so hard on yourself. Just continue. Let it, run off you like water off a goose and just continue. 5, they're really good at reading people very fast as well. I'm sure they'll make really good sort of detectives as well. They will suss out very fast if you're an empathetic, honest person that can give them narcissistic supply. But they also are really good at identifying people similar to them that are crooks, that lie, that cheat, the criminals, that are abusive. And a lot of empaths tend to think that everyone's good, or they just see the good in everyone and they expect everyone to be nice. And that's not always the case. So it can be good for us to assess the person before you completely open up, be vulnerable and share everything. Yes, do that, but with the right people. Don't just trust everyone straight away because they can be narcissists as well, as you might know. Number 7, accusations as clues. This is a tricky one. It took me quite a bit of time to figure this one out because I was constantly being accused for the most bizarre things that had nothing to do with me, that I never even thought about. until I realized that those are projections. They're things that the narcissist is plotting to do or has just done. So that saved me quite a bit of, of thinking power, just realizing what the narc is up to. And sometimes that helped me to be one step ahead as well, understanding what was going on, things that I couldn't have figured out otherwise. So I want to round this up with some advice on what you can do to lessen the hard impact of having to deal with a pathological narcissist. And the number one thing, the most important, is to not give them that narcissistic supply. To not give them all that attention and energy that they want. Okay, they would love to have praise, admiration, love, but if they can't have that, they'll be happy to take fear as well, anger, resentment, anything, as long as they feel that you're giving your energy away or that they're stealing it. So don't give it to them. Don't show that. You can later on, when you're by yourself, when you're away from the narc, you can just pull your hair and scream in a pillow and do whatever. Don't do that in front of the narc. Don't give them that satisfaction, because if you start to wean out that supply, they will not be as interested. The other tip is to think about what you share. Don't overshare. A lot of codependent, empathetic people have this tendency to overshare. And the narcissists are really good at fishing information. A lot of information that they later use to blackmail you, to control and manipulate you, or to somehow get what they want, to get ahead. So be careful in your sharing with a narcissist. Another important thing to remember is how you communicate, especially if it's written in email or text, but also verbally, to not get triggered by them, to not go into a reactive pattern of defending yourself, explaining yourself, or attacking them. That doesn't lead anywhere. They just feel more fuel to continue. So try to keep it as short as possible, only the bare minimum. This day, this time, or very, very few points, only the bare minimums. That will help you a lot, because everything else can be used as fuel to either attack you, manipulate you, blackmail you, or perpetuate this narcissistic supply, robbing you of energy over time. So keep it as simple as possible. Trauma bonding is very powerful and is easy to be lured in by the charm of the narcissist. This advice I'm going to give you now is extremely important, especially if you're about to leave a toxic relationship. So write down, I'd say, the 10, 15 worst things about the narcissist, the most horrible things they've done to you or people around you. And look at that list in times when the narcissist shows the sort of the beautiful, charming, kind, generous sides. Don't believe the narc then. It's just a strategy to lure you in, to get you to get back with them, or to get you off guard to then really stab you. So be on your guard there and look at that list. Inform yourself as much as possible about narcissistic behavior, and don't trust them when they show these nice sides, when it look like now they understood it, now they're sorry, now they're going to be nice. And yes, it looked like I was able to help them, to change them, to make them kind. No, it doesn't work like that. So look at that list. Every time you feel like you're about to get sucked in to their web again, into their vortex of death. So the most important advice I have to you is to look after your mental and emotional well-being, to heal your traumas and strengthen your self-worth. And find that inner peace within yourself. Via the link in my bio, you can download free mental health resources. Prevention is so much easier and more effective than if you wait to get completely destroyed before starting to seek help. Lots of love.